Hi everyone, welcome back to my garage. I am the motorcycle rescuer and this is Motorcycle Rescuer. So yeah, getting the battery in and out of this thing was a bit of a pain originally, guys. You got to there's 3 panels either side, it slots right in the middle. What I did in the end was I left the extension earth on, so it was way too hard to get into the earth. So the extension earth comes through a hole at the other side somewhere. Where is it? It comes through here and then it earths down to here. So, and there, look, there's another earth there. So I believe all 3 of them earth onto that. And then, yeah, from there, of course, you just fire up. It doesn't have a aftermarket CDI, which I thought it might for the exhaust. I mean, it doesn't necessarily matter, but it would be here somewhere. It would have been pushed in. It is just plug and play, that stuff. Again, it's not overly necessary. The guy who had this was a good mechanic in Barnet, so he knew what he was doing. But let me get this plugged in, because this bike hasn't actually started since October, so best to get it plugged in, fire it up for a minute or two, let it clean itself out, and then I think later I'll take it for an MOT to make sure it's all good and on the road properly. So guys, I was thinking there, I can take this to MOT, and then I saw the plate and it is way too small for MOT. I remember saying to the guys in the showroom I want a full-size plate with it. I don't know if they just forgot or what happened, but that didn't happen. You can order one online. It comes in 2 days. I think Halfords will make them off the shelf. I might give them a quick call and see. You have to bring your logbook, and it'll be a bit pricier. So I'm going to look into that. I would like to get this MOT today, ideally. So I'm going to look into that. But for now, let's hear this bad boy, because it's been a while. It's only done 2,000 miles, this Harley. Pretty amazing. Okay guys, got my MOT done on my Harley today, that's great. I'm just going to have a bit of a play on this engine. I'm going to start taking it apart. If we're lucky, we'll get down to the piston today. I'm not really planning on doing much here at the moment, but it'd be interesting to see what's going on with this piston. When the engine's had it anyway, guys, I don't mind just hacking away at it and going in and seeing, because that is how you learn anyway. Just stop taking parts off, you know. That's if, of course, you can get the parts off. Come on. There you go. That's interesting. Would not having the cylinder head on stop it firing or lower compression? Look at that. I feel like that would. No, it wouldn't, because that's just a breather. So it wouldn't. I'll pop the carb off. Carb and boot off. Let's get you a bit closer. Just to get that out of the way, guys. Hardest part's going to be the exhaust, if I'm being honest. It's pretty rusty. I've got the release spray on it, but I don't know. It's not going to be easy. I think I'm expecting to see either a ring that's got a break in it, or a ring that's got it's compressed too much or something like that. I'm hoping it's as simple as just one piston and new rings, chuck it in, compression's back up to normal, bike's back on the road, kind of, basically. But like I said, there's certain bits, the exhaust's absolutely rotten, so I'm not sure I'm going to get them bolts off. I'm hoping the release spray does its job there. This may explain where we were losing oil from originally. If it was sitting, oil would be trickling out of that. Alright, that's one part of the puzzle dealt with. I can just go aside. So it has to be the oh, that shouldn't be trickling, that should be on a suction. Interesting. So the tap's not on a suction, guys. That's worth it's worth noting. Not a huge issue on a bike like this, but a tap with a suction is better. Make sure that's all good. Fine. Great. What's next? Next is I have to do the exhaust. I've got no choice, so I need to get the 10s under there and hope I can undo them. And then you've got these rusty bolts back here that are also known for snapping. So you've got to try and creep in penetrating spray, but it's just not that easy. And it's the exhaust. Let's see if I can get the exhaust off. That'll be the next step. Let's see if I can power off this bolt. That'll be one down. If it come off, there's a big chance it snaps. Very lucky. No chance. Come on. Very lucky. That's lucky, guys. Let's see if we get as lucky on the two 10s underneath. Okay, guys, the exhaust is off. Penetrating fluid worked well. I need to now get the cooling shield surround off so that we can take the tensioner off. That's the next step. It's just a couple of screws. Look, there's one there, there's one on the other side. You just pop it off. Okay, guys, so I was able to slip the chain off without messing with undoing all of that. That makes life much easier. I've loosened the main head bolts here now. I had to use Little John, which is absolutely fine, okay, and normal. All mechanics have some sort of breaker bar system. Let's see. That's not the best shot because it's hard to get in here, guys. I'm trying to stay close, but not too close. Let's just see, out of curiosity, what. Because we'll be down to the head now, really, unless I've missed something, which I have for a completely other bolt there, guys. One more bolt. Who would have ever guessed it? Alright, I'm gonna have to get in there with my big bar again and get that last bolt. So there was 3 head bolts on that, guys. I moved the regulator aside a touch just to give me a bit more space. Let's see if what I've done is right and enough now to pop. Maybe, what could I be missing? The chain is off. I can see one. I can see one more bolt. It looks like an 8. How am I even going to get into there? if you can see down here, guys, look, there's an 8. There might be one on the other side, but you can't even get a ratchet on there. So I will get an 8 spanner. So there's 4 head bolt, guys. There was one right here hidden. 4 head bolts. There you go. Okay. Interesting. Let's see if we drop off the stand. There you go. That might give us more playroom. Otherwise, we might need to remove the studs. Looks like we're going to have to do stud extraction. Bit of a pain. To do the stud bolt extractions, these ones, guys, you put 2 bolts on, you tighten them together, you loosen up the bottom one, and that takes them off. It's a bit annoying, actually. Let me see if the valves come off, but I don't think they do. So, guys, look at my hands. Ain't been dirty and that dirty in a long time. So I got the head out, guys. I had to remove 2 studs, look, to be able to wiggle it out. So I could get it to the end, but I just couldn't wiggle it out. You just can't get it through this gap at the front. So 2 studs removed. You alright, Now let's pop this off and see what the piston's like. Let me keep you close-ish. Where can you see? You can see better than I can, actually. Let me tilt you a touch. There you go. Let's have a little look. Let's see what we're working with. Slides pretty easily. Yeah, the piston wasn't rubbing on that really, guys. So do we have the same trouble here? Look at that, that's ridiculous. Let's see if dropping it helps. Oh. Yeah. It's a lot of faff, this bike, a lot of faff. So yeah, it wasn't really compressed in there, guys. The actual the chamber looks great. In fact, it looks very good. The rings, to be fair, the rings look okay. Maybe they look a touch loose. It's hard to explain. But they seem... There is a bit of scoring on here, guys. Let's pop that out and we'll have a closer look. So guys, here's the piston. The rings all look a bit weird to me, like kind of really sticky out. I'm not sure what's happened there. I don't know what's happened there. I also don't know if this is a standard 125. It looks quite big, but I'm going to assume it is because it's quite a short throw arm. Oh, the arm's nice and solid, guys. That's good. No play left to right, no play back and forwards. Cool. That's okay then. But yeah, this doesn't look terrible. It makes me wonder what was going on. I'm wondering if there is a bottom end let me see how free this engine is. I'm going to spin it around a bit, guys. This is a tough one, guys. I'm not overly comfortable with the bottom end. I don't know if it feels a bit stiff. I don't think there's anything you can do about that. I mean, I can spin it by the chain. It is spinning easy enough. I'm just not sure. I've had them feel looser in the past. So I don't know, but it really isn't going to hurt me to throw a new piston on for a few quid and torque it all back down and just see that it really ain't going to hurt. So I'm going to order a new piston and we'll do that. We'll chuck it back on with the new piston and we'll see. The cylinder, the bore looks absolutely fine. No issues at all. It looks scored nicely. Even the gaskets are fine. So I don't know really. It could have had a bottom end seize. If the oil was that low, then that would make sense. But I don't know. It's hard to tell. Like it's fine. There's no free movement in there. It's just the actual. If I take the chain, it's a little bit stiffer than I expect. But all engines are different, so it's hard to tell, you know. Right. Yeah. Nothing to sit here complaining about. We'll order a new piston, new rings. We'll chuck that on, and that will tell us how our bottom end is. Obviously, if the new top end piston ring and rings don't help, then we know that there's a bottom end issue here and that it's finished. Then ultimately it needs an engine rebuild, and this bike wouldn't be worth it. I can't do the full engine rebuilds, they're a pain in the arse. It will be a parts bike then, so I'll order the little piston and we'll give that a shot anyway, because that's the right thing to do by this bike. And then that's it. If that doesn't solve the issue, then that's it. Now, for me, it kind of makes sense. It was kind of low on compression. It kind of loosened up a bit after a little while of turning, I guess when the oil got into the crevices. For me, it feels like a bottom end issue. But like I said, for a few pounds, we'll chuck on a new piston in a couple of days and see. So just to finish off today's, I'm going to lay some base coats on Amanda's panels. This is satin black, so this is the same stuff that does that. So even if it came out like that, it would look absolutely fine. But it should come out a bit better than that. What you do is you lay down some bottom coats. They just need to be even, no drips ideally and stuff like that. And then I'll be putting the stickers on and then putting lacquer on the top a few days later. So the panels for this bike should be kind of together early next week maybe. And then that's kind of it as far as I go with this bike, I think. No, actually we have fork seals coming, don't we? So fork rebuild. Always something to look forward to. It's got a similar colour scheme, isn't it, to my big Harley, the red and black. So yeah, I'm going to lay some base coats. Even though all of the big marks are still here, I have sanded them down. They shouldn't show, and I have cleaned the part properly. So yeah, they shouldn't show. If they do show, then plan B is to put some red blotches on this panel and make it a little bit more interesting. So if any imperfections like this show through the next coats, then we're going to blotch it and make it a bit more interesting so that it's less obvious. Because it's a bad panel, that's the problem, you see. The actual panel itself, you'd have to sand right down to the original plastic, and that will take a long time for me. So they look nice and shiny, guys. They're just not smooth enough. You can see all the imperfections still that someone else would have been better at managing. I don't know, maybe a sliver of filler on them. I don't know what would smooth them out, if I'm being honest. Either lots of sanding or lots of filler, I guess. And I fail with that primer. I think we've talked, I think we're going to do some kind of red blotches, so the same that Nat would kind of use, spray the red down and then dab it on with like a plastic bag or something, and you'll get kind of, I think it will draw the eye away. So if we did it in these particular areas, then I think it would draw the eye away from them, and it'll look a bit more custom actually. Now the red's not going to look stupid red, it'll just be blotched on. It's not going to be pink either, it'll be dark red, blotch it on, and it'll just add some more kind of interesting colours to the bike. I pulled out my old panels because I wasn't sure if they what kind of condition they were in, because they're good panels. They're kind of orangey pinky, but they won't clean up. They're in bad condition. I'll try a bit of compound out of curiosity, because they're professionally sprayed, I'm sure, but I doubt they're Amanda's colour, and they're in a pretty bad state. You've got little flakes here, look, and bits and pieces. So I just pulled them out in case they were in better condition and polished up well, but they won't. These will look much neater, and they're the right colour, dark with little bits of red. I have, of course, started on these panels down here, but they're also in a state. See all the big chips there and there, they're going to be hard to cover. But again, if we use the blotching system, kind of gently, not going nuts, then a lot of that will be able to kind of, I think your eye will be taken away from it.